Medulla oblongata controls automatic and homeostatic activities such as swallowing, digestion, and vomiting, and breathing and heart activity.
The cerebellum coordinates unconscious functions such as movement and balance.
The hypothalamus maintains homeostasis, coordinating the nervous and endocrine systems, secreting hormones of the posterior pituitary and releasing factors regulating the anterior pituitary.
The pituitary in the posterior lobe stores and releases hormones produced by the hypothalamus, and the anterior lobe and produces and secretes hormones regulating many body functions.
The cerebral hemispheres act as the integrating center for high complex functions such as learning, memory, and emotions.
As you can see in this diagram, the human eye is very complicated. Light enters the eye through the pupil, which is the dark hole in the center of the iris. The iris is muscle tissue, which determines the size of the pupil. In bright light, the iris closes the pupil, so not as much light gets in. Under dark conditions, the iris opens up the pupil, allowing greater amounts of available light to enter the eye. The iris is the blue, green, brown, or hazel part of the eye. The white part of the eyeball is a tough protective skin. It covers the entire eyeball except for the clear area over the iris and pupil. This protective clear section is called the cornea. The cornea bends the light towards the lens. The cornea focuses the light entering the eye. Most people think that the lens is responsible for focusing, but that is wrong. The lens helps us to be able to focus on things that are close as well as things that are far away. The lens is adjusted when small muscles change the shape of the lens. However, it is the cornea that does the most to focus light that enters the eye. Light enters the cornea and then is bent towards the retina, where an inverted image strikes the rods and cones. The rods and cones send electrical impulses to the brain through nerve fibers that collect to form the optic nerve behind the eye. The place where the fibers come together has no rods or cones, so images can't be seen at this point. This spot is referred to as the blind spot. The optic nerve carries the information to the brain, where it is turned right side up and analyzed. Humans have two eyes for a purpose. We have what is called binocular vision. The image from each eye is combined to give us the ability to determine distance. The field of vision is determined by how much you can see without moving your head.
Innate behavior is the behavior determined by the hardwiring of the nervous system. It is usually inflexible, a given stimulus triggering a given response, such as a baby sucking its thumb.
Behavior that is more or less permanently altered as a result of the experience of the individual organism is learned behavior, such as my dog Bailey sitting.
You know what it is. Everything I lay in bed, I lay eggs. Black stripe, yellow paint. These flowers scared, but these scalpy paint.
Scout bees find a source of nectar and do a waggle dance to indicate the direction and area of the source.
Teach me how to waggle. They be like Queen. What, can you teach me how to waggle? You know why? Because I search for nectar. All I need is to make wax and honey, and for you to back it up and waggle. Put your stinger out back, sting side to side. They gonna be on you when they see you protect that hive. Teach me how to waggle. 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 Let me feed the larva. Let me feed the larva. Let me feed the larva. You ain't messing with my honey.
Cocaine and crack are psychostimulants that affect neurons containing dopamine in the areas of the brain known as the limbic and frontal cortex. When cocaine is used, it generates a feeling of confidence and power. However, when large amounts are taken, people crash and suffer from physical and emotional exhaustion as well as depression.
Riverside, California, to find the pheasant of this beautiful country. It's called a peacock. Now this peacock is known for its giant feathers in the tail part of its body. Now this beautiful extremity is not only used for, feathers, but it's used to attract females. Now, this male peacock, which is frolicking in the great vast greenness of Riverside, California, its beautiful blue skies, is displaying its beautiful tail feather thing to attract the females. Now, not many people know this, but the amount of eyes that it has actually is how attractive it is. So we're going to go over to this peacock as it's frolicking and displaying its beauty. Now, it's part of the pheasant family and not usually found in these parts, but we are lucky to find it today. Now, it's shedding. This is a very rare opportunity. They don't usually shed. Now, if I get any closer, I think it might start attacking. So I'm just going to stay right here. I think it's starting to make its horrible screeching noise. Oh my God! It's horrible. That noise is just. It's starting to attack me. Oh my God! Once a year, coral releases millions of gametes in a synchronized mass spawning ritual. This exquisite showing of reproductive rhythm is another way that it protects its young, because the predators are overwhelmed with more food than they can eat, so more survive than if they did it individually. The North American flying squirrel flies only at night. It gets the most food and the least competition. Diurnal and circadian are both used to describe a 24-hour cycle of behavior. These behaviors are controlled internally or endogenous, but external, exogenous. Cues such as light are important in synchronization. This was tested by them being placed in total darkness, and they even continued on a 24-hour scale without these cues. Biological clocks are internal mechanisms which keep the animal in sync with its environment, but external cues regulate the biological clock so that it fits a changing environment. Cyanobacteria, or the blue-green algae shown, are the simplest organisms known to possess a biological clock.
Yeah. That's what you get.